Hi hand readers. In today's video I'm going to talk about small baby fingers and what the consequences and meanings and interpretations might be for those people who have small baby fingers. My name's Jennifer. I'm a hand reader of many years and I do offer online courses and readings. If you'd like to contact me in that regard, please find my info at the end of the video. How to tell if baby fingers are or are not small is essentially based on their length, and the ideal length baby finger will come to the interphalangeal crease between the second and the tip phalange of the adjoining fire finger in chirology and the Apollo finger in palmistry. However, many of us have what we call low set baby fingers. In other words, the finger seems to retract into the palm, retract into the palm and leave the palm at a lower point than the rest of the fingers. So it's a bit of a weighing up around, is the finger indeed very short or is it simply low set? A set of truly small baby fingers is something we don't see often. The baby fingers are governed by Mercury in the palmistic tradition and by air in the five-element chirology tradition. And both air and Mercury have similar energies. It's all about communication, business exchange, financial exchange, and in the five-element system also around sexuality. We might then assume that these three primary areas of life, of how we communicate, our financial management and matters to do with financial exchange, and to some extent our sexuality, are going to in some way be diminished. In other words, those qualities are reduced by the smallness of a set of baby fingers. There is an underlying theme for those people with very small baby fingers, and that is trust. Self-trust and trust of others. You'll usually find that people with small baby fingers tell a story of some element of struggle with self-trust as well as trusting others. So when it comes to communication, here with articulation and language and communication of deepest feelings, there's some inhibition in those people with small baby fingers. They either cannot or will not reveal their deepest thoughts. And there could be a deep shyness, this is quite likely. And so clear and articulate verbal sharing is an area of potential struggle. And if we link that to trust, you might want to support your client in developing a sense of self-trust that they can speak their truth. When it comes to sexuality, it could very well be that people who have small baby fingers have sexual self-doubt. In other words, a deep-seated doubt of their own attractiveness, desirability, ability to respond, ability to trust, and to get intimate with the potential partner. So some element of difficulty in connecting is quite likely. People with small baby fingers might find that their emotional needs are not met in their relationships. And of course this ties directly in with communication and how important it is for those people with small baby fingers to learn to articulate their deeper needs. There is a link too with little baby fingers, little small baby fingers, of the person being rather naive when it comes to love, as well as unfortunately to sexual abuse trauma, to some history there. And that would especially apply if the baby finger is also low set. And if it's particularly straight and thin, that would add to the possibility of the person having experienced some element of trauma around their sexuality. On the money front, this feature is an indicator of the person struggling to make a living, struggling to stand up for themselves in the world of money and independence in that regard. And all of the above tie into deservability and self-worth. The question in their soul, in their heart, of how worthy am I to enjoy a really deep, intimate relationship, to make a successful career financially, and to communicate my truth. And of course, in many palmistic traditions, baby fingers, small baby fingers specifically, do show or are said to indicate a low sense of self-worth and a sense of inadequacy that from a young age actually might plague, and then that defaults back into the question of trust, trusting myself, trusting others. If you're a consulting hand reader and you meet with a person with small baby fingers, you might experience some resistance in them to deep self-enquiry. Again, it ties into trust. It's almost like you have to win their trust. It takes time to win their trust. Interestingly too, with people with small baby fingers, they make wonderful teachers of small children. The reason being that because of this naivete that they have, that they are able to almost look at life with eyes of wonder. that there's something about them that is childlike in quality, and therefore map that over onto the ability to relate to children, and you get the sense of why they might make these wonderful teachers that they do. One can also refine the analysis of small baby fingers even further by looking at the relative proportion of each individual phalange. Now that's another whole conversation, but it's quite interesting to note that really one can go even deeper into the meanings for each phalange of every finger actually, but in this case the baby finger. And then lastly, there's also been some correlation in medical research that those people with very small baby fingers, and indeed also those with very long baby fingers, have been noted to have a higher incidence of schizophrenia. In next week's video, I'll be talking about low-set baby fingers. So I'm going to drop deeper into the discussion around what it means when the finger retracts into the palm. I've also written 3 articles about baby fingers. You're welcome to have a look at them. The links are below, and I'll see you next week.